What's up, NBA fans? Exotic Sports back here again today, bringing y'all another video. And today we're going to be going over my top 5 bold predictions for the 2020-2021 NBA season. Now, if y'all don't mind going and hit that like button and subscribe button, I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all that do that. It means a lot to me. But let's go ahead and get to number 1. A lot of y'all are going to hate on me for this. A lot of y'all aren't going to like it. But guess what? I don't care. Indiana Pacers, those guys, they're not making the playoffs. No. You want to know why? All right, Boston Celtics, they're locks to make it. I feel like Brooklyn Nets, I feel like they're locks. Sixers, they're gonna make it. Raptors, they're gonna make it. Bucks, they're locks. The Heat, they just made it to the finals, are locks. We're already at 6. I think the Wizards easily gonna make it. I feel like they're better than the Pacers, and I feel like the Hawks are about just as good as the Pacers. Not to mention that the Bulls and Hornets, and even the Magic actually have competent teams now. I do think the Pacers have some good young players, but I never think Oladipo will be the player he was before. Miles Turner is always a little bit too timid for me, and they hadn't really added much as in other teams have added a lot. And I think they're just gonna get pushed back down the ladder, and they're not gonna be as exciting as they were. They were disappointment in the playoffs, and they may not be back this year. I guess we'll see. Next up, we have number 2, and guys, please keep in mind this is bold predictions, not predictions that will most likely happen or that your friends are talking about going to happen. No, it's bold predictions. Not many people are giving these predictions because they probably won't happen. So number 2, the Phoenix Suns will contend for home court advantage and will possibly even get it, getting a top 4 seed in the West next season. I definitely think this is possible and could happen. Last year, the Thunder were given a 0.2% chance to make playoffs. They finished as a 5 seed and were competitive with the Rockets until the final minute of that Game 7. And I think the Suns could do the exact same thing. Obviously, notable losses were Ricky Rubio and Kelly Oubre, who they traded for Chris Paul. Chris Paul is obviously a huge uh, upgrade over Ricky Rubio. It's light and day with that. And even though Kelly Oubre is a very nice young player, they got Jay Crowder, who's definitely serviceable in that spot to replace him. Not to mention, I really like Cam Johnson this year in the bubble, and they still have Mikal Bridges, who's good, so they're set on boards. But the upgrade Chris Paul gives you at that point guard position, it's not just a skill he gives you; it's the leadership, it's the culture, the winning culture at that. And if really just the basketball IQ that he brings can transform their entire offense. Because why? Yes, Ricky Rubio was a great passer. Every team knew that he could not score worth a shit. They didn't have to respect him. They had to respect the players he was going to pass to. Well, Chris Paul will drop a nice 30 on you any night he feels like it. So you better damn respect his offensive skill. And Devin Booker no longer has to do everything, as he can let Chris Paul work, get his shots, but more importantly, take the defense off of him and actually give Devin Booker some room to operate, which he's never had, and he nearly averaged 30 points this past season. That's why they were never good, because they had to rely on him. So, taking some of the defense off Devin Booker, giving him some room to work, getting him some open shots, which never happens, it never happens, will definitely help them a lot. Not to mention that they now have one of the best backcourts in the league. Add DeAndre Ayton on top of that. That's a scary, scary team. I mean, we're talking about a big athletic center who definitely has potential to be good on defense. He's not that great yet, but I think his body and length and just his size and how he moves, he could be a good defender if he works on that. Like I said, Cameron Johnson is just a perfect athletic small forward for them. He's pretty damn fast. He's like 6'9", I believe. Has a jump shot. I like his game. And Jay Crowder's gonna knock down as many threes as you really need him to on the wing. So don't sleep on him next season, man. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep. Okay, next up, number 3. Now, y'all all know the history of players tearing their Achilles. You know that about 99% of players who have come back have always came back at least a little bit worse, or their career for completely ruined. I mean, look at Kobe. It pretty much ruined his career, that Achilles tear. And it's been relentless to everyone except for Dominique Wilkins. He came back and he was better. You probably heard that story 1,000 times. I think we're gonna have 2 anomalies this year. I think John Wall and Kevin Durant will not just come back good; they will come back better than before, just from all the practice I saw, from all the videos, from the workout videos, from the preseason games. The very few that I saw, both of them, like 2 John Wall, 1 Kevin Durant. They are just both looking very, very good out there, and you would not have guessed they missed that much time. Now, they may have lapses on defense, trouble getting to good defense rotations and offensive movement, but in terms of individual skill, that's going to be mainly rust right there, but individual skill, I think they're going to actually be at all-time highs for both, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of these players make the All-Star team next year. Yes, I said it. Both, even John Wall in the West, I think both of these players could be All-Star. But we'll see. Okay, so number four is a guy who's getting a lot of hype, but I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, so to speak. I'm gonna list some numbers off for this guy. Tyler Hero. A lot of people are expecting him to be great next year. I think he will be absolutely amazing. At the beginning of the year, he wasn't getting too much minutes, maybe 15 or so per game. And at the end of the year, he worked his way up to getting over 30 minutes per game in the NBA Finals. He's an amazing player. He hit some very clutch shots for them in the playoffs. At points, he was the primary ball handler. I really like his game, and I think he will come off the bench next year, and I do expect him to average 22, 23 points per game and be a huge part of this Miami Heat offense. And if he can do this, he will definitely elevate this Heat team to another level offensively. And they definitely need it with the whole Eastern Conference improving. I'm talking the Celtics, they're going to get better just because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are so young. They're obviously going to get better. The Nets get Kevin Durant. They're just going to be good. The Bucks got better. The Wizards got better. The Hawks got better. They better be prepared. And I think Tyler Hero, if he makes this drastic improvement, I think he could possibly even be an All Star this year. I think that improvement could help them stay towards the top and give them a chance to go back to the conference finals or even back to the NBA finals. But we shall see. And last up, I think the Hornets, with their LaMelo draft choice and the Gordon Hayward signing, along with the pieces they have on their team, could look like geniuses in this upcoming season. Now, I don't know about y'all, but every time I turn on the Hornets game, I instantly get bored. I don't like watching it. I honestly can't remember a time I watched a Hornets game unless it was like a doubleheader on TNT and I saw like one half of a game and I was just waiting to see the other game or something like that. I never really just turned on the Hornets game. No offense to you Hornets fans, but I'm sure y'all have teams like that where you never really watch either. And that's just how I've always felt about them since I've started watching in like 2013. Never really been exciting. Kimball Walker, kind of fun, but I got kind of tired of just seeing him. Now, I'm starting to think I might like watching Hornets games. So let's talk about the players they already had. Of course, Devonte Graham, he broke out last year, was a pretty decent passer and one of the best 3-point shooters in the league last year. He's actually not that good at scoring inside the arc, but he was just launching triples at a very high rate, making them last year. Terry Rozier was a pretty good guard as well. Then they have Miles Bridges, who's a very athletic small forward, has a lot of skill, a lot of potential. And PJ Washington, he can really stretch the floor out and is a pretty good defensive player from what I've heard. Now you add Gordon Hayward, who this guy averaged like what 17, 18 points last year and shot about 50% from the field. He was a pretty good player in terms of his limited usage that he had. He's now going to be the number one option, and would it be crazy to think that this is the best Gordon Hayward we could ever see? Like, if you think about it, the most he ever averaged was like 21 points per game. He was starting to break out in Utah. I went the Celtics, got injured immediately. Now that he's only the number one option again, he's back fully healthy. We would hope. I mean, he could do anything. He could be terrible. He could be the same. He could be amazing. The best he's ever been. We don't know. LaMelo Ball. Now, a lot of people are hating on this guy, and a lot more people love him. I mean, like, he's getting a lot of love from just everyone. And I've watched some highlights from him, and I really like him too. Offensively, he just looks like he can be a fucking monster, man. That's all I can say, a fucking monster. And if all this works out, if LaMelo's amazing, if Gordon Hayward's amazing, if all those young players fit together and they keep on adding to this, or maybe they only need to add to it. Maybe this is enough for them to surprise and maybe compete for the 8 seed. even if they just compete for the 8th seed, but you just see how good Hayward is. You just see how good LaMelo is, how good Devonte Graham is. You see how good Miles Bridges is. All these pieces, people will just be amazed. They're like, "Wow, the Hornets front office finally got it together and is doing something good." And I'm telling you, it will bring a lot of excitement to the Hornets fan base, and I'm really rooting for y'all. I want to see that. But that's all I have time for today, y'all. This video ran a little bit longer than I was hoping for, but I really do hope you enjoyed, and hope y'all come back next time. But enjoy the rest of your day, man. I know I will. Peace out.